So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I never kissed the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. I take up all the pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back, cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change, slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes.
All right, guys. Happy Monday. What is it? November 3rd. Oh my gosh, where is this year gone? I'm tired as hell. I don't know about you guys. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning doing stonky stuff. A lot of stuff happened in pre-market and overnight. So we're gonna catch up on a few things this morning. And then I had some folks in Discord and on the X platform that asked me about a couple tickers. At least one of them we've looked at briefly or before, QuantumScape, and I don't remember what we said about it, but the chart sure looks good, and we like good charts, so we'll take another deep dive on QuantumScape. That is not Quantum Biopharma. QuantumScape is QS, and Quantum Biopharma is a different ticker. We're going to talk about it first up today, right now. And then we're going to talk about BYND. Their Q3 earnings got pushed a week. The stock got hammered today. And then we'll go into QuantumScape and NUKK, NUKK, which was a Discord request. These will be live DD. You can kind of see how I do my due diligence, on a really deep dive, which sometimes based on your guys' recommendations, we go off and do. On a really deep dive, I might spend a day or two or a week looking into a company before I make a video on it. But tonight we're going to do just kind of the quick and dirty version, 5, 10, 15 minutes. What can we figure out? And this is the type of DD that you guys should be doing if you are thinking about holding a stock. If you're just day trading, swing trading, quick in and out, a lot of what we're going to cover on these two tickers, QuantumScape and NUKK, is not necessary. I don't do any sort of real dive into stocks that I'm just going to be in for a few minutes. Other than, why is it moving? Is there news? Is that news important? But, maybe in our 10 or 15 minute look into these tickers today, we decide let's spend a whole day looking into one of these. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to come up with. YouTube is giving me some not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Let me know in the chat if you're getting any lag or anything. Hopefully they don't kick me off for bad connection. Because with my mood tonight being tired, I'm probably not going to try and restart the live stream. Quantum Biopharma. Oh, we're going to do some viewer mail too. I think it'd be funny for you guys to see the type of fan mail, i.e. hate mail, that I get when I try and help people with some of my DD. We'll cover that in a second when we get to Beyond Meat. Quantum Biopharma. What can we say about quantum biopharma? It was heavily promoted by, as you guys know, Kevin Malone and the Short Squeeze gang, the Naked Short gang, back in June and August. It had some fantastic run-ups. Great swing trade for anyone who traded this. $2.70 up to $38. What's not to like about that? But you have to, as always, understand the financials and the cash burn. And, the message was hold these stocks forever. Even Kevin said, I'm using my clients' money to buy at the top. This thing could go, to infinity and beyond. No. The company has almost no revenue and they have cash burn. They got to raise money. There's nothing against quantum biopharma, but you can't put your head in the sand and say that dilution is never going to happen. And over time, quantum did some dilution, and then somewhere around July or August, I put out this tweet, I think based on an earnings call. August 7th is the date of my tweet. And I'm looking here at my bullet number 7. Management has communicated verbally no dilution the remainder of this year. So I'm thinking that I heard on a space call back around beginning of August that one of the management on a space call said no dilution the rest of this year. And Kevin was usually the one hosting those calls, and I just don't remember all the way back to August. But I've put out DD on quantum saying, look, you got to expect more dilution. That's the bottom line. This is not a buy and hold company. Nothing against quantum, but at those valuations that we see in the chart here, it just makes no sense. For a no revenue company that needs to continually raise cash, $38. Take your money and run. If you love it, wait till it comes back down to $2, $3, $4. They announced on the 31st, a couple days ago, Friday, a new ATM offering. So this is why I'm bringing this up, because I tweeted out to you guys in August that management said no new dilution for the rest of this year. And here we are in October, November, talking about a new ATM that just got filed. HC Wainwright is the sales agent. No, they're not buying the shares. They are the sales agent to facilitate at the market offering at the prevailing price. Whenever quantum tells them, go ahead, start selling. It's up, I think, around $21 million is what they're trying to raise. And at $10 a share, let's call that 2 million shares, right? And I'm looking at the shares outstanding, 3.82 million. 2 million shares is a significant dilution if they fully sell that. So the question then is when? When do they start selling? I don't know. I don't know if that'll be immediately, if it'll be next month, if it'll be January, but the ATM is open. Let's put it that way. So I guess, buyer beware. How do you say that in Latin? I was going to say cave canem, but that's beware of dog. Caveat emptor. That's it, right? Buyer beware. Anyhow, that's what I got to say about quantum. I talked to Zishan today, and I told him, look, you need to have an ATM. It is reasonable and necessary, in my opinion. And I've been saying that consistently since the middle of this year. Like, why didn't you have an ATM open? Why weren't you raising money here? I sometimes wonder, like, we expect this, right? You want to have an ATM open when the price is running so you can raise money with less shares. $38, $30 was a great time to raise money. Now we're at 10. What, did Adam Aaron phone in the playbook to Zishan? I'm just kidding. Wait till the price plummets. And I'm just kidding. But that's what I got for quantum. There is an ATM. It's going to be significant dilution over time. I don't know the timing, but I believe that the ATM is open immediately. And we're not going to redo all the DD on their financials and dilution tracker. You already know the story. If you don't, go find my tweets from July and August. I try not to talk about this stock too often. There's really not much to say. Other than I wish them luck with whatever products they're trying to bring to market. All right, let's move on to Beyond Meat, BYND. I'm gonna put up on the screen here Beyond Meat, just so we can kind of keep track of what we're talking about here. Edit. I want to change the text. Come on. Settings. Let's go. I should have put one up for quantum, but this will be my little cue when I go in to put the timestamps in. Helps me remember what we were talking about so I can find it easier. Maybe it helps y'all too. Beyond. All right. BYND had a pre-market press release this morning that they were, they had Q3 earnings scheduled for tomorrow, the 4th, after market close. We woke up this morning to news that Beyond Meat is pushing that Q3 earnings date to November 11th. And Dink says, best jokes have a tinge of truth. Yes, yes. Going back to the quantum and Adam Aaron joke. Now, it's funny that quantum pushed their earnings to next week, because the reason that they pushed the earnings is because they have a asset impairment, a material change to their assets that was disclosed back in October, that was gonna happen, the asset impairment. And they said we need more time to figure out what this charge is going to be. A non-cash asset impairment. So they're not going to burn cash, but there will be a write-down on certain assets. And I would assume factories or equipment based on declining business and, poor business outlook. That's just something that you do when your fair value exceeds carrying value, or carrying value exceeds fair value. I think it's the second one. At any rate, the assets need to be written down. And that's just a financial statement accounting thing that has to be done. Otherwise, the SEC is going to come after them. It should impact negatively the income statement, earnings per share, and the balance sheet. And they did not give us any idea how big the impairment is going to be. It'll be a one-time thing. This is not some long-term doom and gloom, but it's going to be probably a significant hit to the Q3 numbers. Now, when I went over my estimates with you guys on my Sunday video of what I think Q3 is going to look like, I did mention to you this note down here that they will have a non-cash impairment, and any numbers that I presented on Sunday don't include that. So whatever you see here for Q3 is going to be worse. It's going to be worse. I can't guess something that I have no idea how to scope it out. So all I can do is, here's what they reported, expected revenue. It's going to be worse than this in terms of net income, earnings per share, and whatever's left on the balance sheet. We'll find out now on the 11th, I guess. But the market did not like this news. And the stock is down 16% on the day. And rightly so, I think. Which is why I mentioned it several times in Sunday's video. But, the accountants and the finance guys over at Beyond Meat, they got to do what they got to do. Crunch the numbers till you make sure the numbers make sense. And then they got to redo all the balance sheet, the income statement. It's not easy work. Put out a video on Sunday talking about the Q3 earnings, talking about what I think the fair value for Beyond Meat might be. Why am I calculating fair value? I told you guys for a week that I was going to do this video, and I didn't put it out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of last week because I don't want to deal with people saying, oh, you're just trying to bring the stock price down. I put it out on the weekend because it's something that I had been promising you guys I was going to do. And why do we do that? Because some of you said, hey, Tony, if ever were to come a time that you would consider buying Beyond Meat for the long term, for the recovery play, what price would you do that at? Well, I can't answer that. I can't answer that unless I run some fair value assessment. And I see some wild price targets out there on social media saying, oh, this thing's worth easy $40. Like, bro, how? You can't just type that on Twitter, it's worth easy $40. Like, you got to do some analysis. So I took some time out of my week to prepare several different models, discounted cash flow, some of the parts, EV to sales multiplier, an aggressive bull case, assuming that they right the ship and grow the company, a base case, assuming break even, and a bear case, assuming that things don't get better and we can only value the company for any assets that it has. And so we got several different price targets here. And even the most aggressive bull case that I could come up with was $2 based on financial analysis, not based on short squeeze, that the mythical chart reading, the gaps must be filled to the upside. Look, anything can happen when FOMO gets involved. This is not a short squeeze stock anymore. If it ever was, I don't think it ever was. So, if we're going to roll the dice and say, we want to hold Beyond for the next 2 years and see if management turns it around now that they have the debt off the books, where would I feel safe? Well, the safest is probably around 50 to 60 cents. That's assuming no turnaround. And even then, as I said in the notes here, these are all my notes that I carefully typed in. I want you guys to read them. Even 58 cents is not accounting for the additional dilution that's going to be approved in the November vote and any new dilution that happens after the increase to the share count is approved. So we might have to adjust these prices down even further. This is not a ticker for people that have any concern for their money. Like, if you can't lose money, you don't want it in this stock. This is a gambling stock. This is betting on red or black. In fact, you're probably betting on the O or the double O. You're not even betting on red or black. That's 50-50. We're in high odds territory here. Like, very low probability it'll hit. But if it does hit, you'll probably do pretty good. It's like I said, it's like a call option at this point. You're gonna put down some money and hope that the management turns it around. And if that doesn't happen, you're gonna lose all your investment. And if it does happen, might be a pretty good play. I can't say. But I thought it would be funny. I'm just trying to have real talk with you guys, as we have been doing since October 18th, when we first called out the bull trade on this stock. And I've been more than fair to this stock. I did live taste test. I bought the product. I tried it. I covered my trading of the stock for a week. Shared thoughts with you guys, shared DD. People don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like my DD, but we're used to that here. It's all right. Let's see. let's read some of the fan mail. Some of these are funny. Anya, thank you for your comment. Wellington says, well, he liked the video. Thank you, Wellington. I want to get down to the funny ones of the haters. Paul, thank you. Great job, he says. Okay, here we go. Corey Curd 100, the venerable Mr. Curd. You will be wrong. Just wait and see. Just you wait and see, Turner. You know how many tickers I've heard that on, Corey? GTII, BBIG, MMTLP, BBBY. Oh man, the MMTLP. The list is endless. We got 4 years of track record of people telling me, you're going to be wrong. Just you wait and see, Tony. I mean, there's always a chance I could be wrong. Management could turn BYND around. It's not 1 foot in the grave anymore. They recapitalized and took all the debt off the book. So I could be wrong, but I didn't say BYND is going bankrupt, did I, Mr. Curd? I said what I think the fair value is, and I gave you reasonable analysis, including things you can go plug into Chat GPT or Grok or whatever you want and run your own analysis. Do you do that? Do you provide any feedback at all about what I'm going to be wrong about? No. BYND is not like other stocks. It's bigger and global. How many times have we heard that before on any ticker you can imagine? 1 million times, Mr. Curd. I mean, come up. You guys got to come up with some new stuff. It's not even really entertaining to me anymore. It is funny. Please do better, DD. Oh, I love that one. You guys know I love that one. I've literally been looking into this stock every day, all day since the 18th of October. I bet I've done more DD on this stock than 99% of people tweeting about it. 99% of people tweeting about it are just repeating someone else's nonsense. Do better, DD. Boy, Mr. Curd, I provided now 2 videos showing you why the shares are tradable, they're lendable, they're part of the float, why Beyond Meat told us back in September that these shares would not be registered, why they told us back in September that there would be no restrictive legend, why they told us that, well, that's what they told us, that there's no need to register them or have restrictive legends. They said that in the transaction support agreement. And why do they tell you that? So that you know that the shares are going to be immediately tradable. But you have to know how to read the regulations when they follow on later with the 8K and say, hey, these shares are not going to be registered because they don't need to be. Because of Rule 144 exception, subsection, what was it, D32? The tacking exemption. Because they exchanged bonds with the 2021 issuance date for shares, the shares were automatically considered like they've held them for 4 years. They don't need to be registered. They don't need to be restrictive legend, and they don't need to be locked up because of the tacking exemption. So I've even provided you, Mr. Curd, at least 2 AI prompts, different prompts, to copy and paste into the AI of your choice to fact check me. Please do it. And stop listening to the fucking nonsense on social media. These people couldn't DD their way out of a paper bag. No SEC file mentioned. I've provided you numerous citations directly from the company filings and the Securities Act of 1933 explaining to you that, yes, it is mentioned both by the company and the SEC, but you got to know how to read. And look, regulations are not easy. I'm not trying to be trite, not trying to be pompous. You know, I do this every day, all day. And I didn't know everything in the beginning. I still don't know everything. But I know that plenty of companies get around this immediate trading of shares when they give shares to lenders. Not the first time that we've looked into this, Mr. Curd. Thank you very much. I know it might be your first time. It's not our first time. It's been 84 years, Dink, right? Richie Rich with a nice comment. I really liked this one. He says, the info you provide us here is just short of insider information. I mean, I just read what management is telling us and then don't get emotional about it. What does it say in black and white? Don't create alternate meanings. Don't ignore what it says because you want it to go to $1,000. Management will always tell you what's going to happen. Read the filings. Don't create alternative meanings. All right, here we got another one of my favorites from Mr. Doug. He says, yeah, Tony's a hedgy. Tony, you need to read the October 14th 8K. I bet I've read it more times in my sleep, Doug, than you have. 80% of the company is now owned by Unprocessed Foods, LLC. 10 million shares were sellable. I mean, Doug, I provided now 40 minutes of due diligence videos going over company filings, a dozen or more tweets over the past couple of weeks. I've been telling you guys since before I bought and went long. I've been telling you the shares are tradable since October 18th. You're just wrong, Doug. You're wrong. They're not restricted. I'm sorry. It is to save the company from bankruptcy. Absolutely. This was a necessary distressed debt for equity swap. And it's a good thing. As I covered in the video on Sunday, look how good. Look, I even colored it green to make you feel happy, Doug. This means things look better on now that we have the October information included. I don't know what else I can do, but you want me to put happy faces over here? I freaking colored it green. So yeah, I mean, they did what they needed to do to fix their balance sheet and to give equity to the note holders. That doesn't mean that it's good for common. How many times have we seen that on different tickers? The note holders get taken care of at the expense of common. Hey, we are at the bottom of the food chain. The note holders are at the top. They are going to get taken care of every time, and you need to learn that. It's not unfair. It's not illegal. It's not immoral. It's just the way it is. Wind, thank you. He says, I appreciate your video. Sparky says, I guess one of the folks is complaining to me. Sparky says he needs to read the 1018 company release. They've all read the releases, Sparky. There's one or two people on X that are constantly putting out misinformation, very loud voices in the BYND community. And I try and reply to all those tweets from those people. And, I just get beat up in the comments. And they turn somersaults over there on X to not talk about the things that I'm talking about, the citations, the filings, the Securities Act of 1933. They don't want to talk about that. They just want to tell you how they're interpreting it. Well, guess what, friends? The way you're interpreting it is wrong. I'm not saying that because I'm perfect. It's just, this is not our first time here. Here we got Mr. Nico. He says, what have you been smoking? I wish I was smoking a cigar or something more fun, Nico, but I don't do that when I'm doing DD. What have you been smoking? No additional thoughts here. Don't know what he's mad about. Don't know what he sees incorrect on what I posted. Like, if you're going to comment, if you want me to have a smidge of respect for you, throw something. Throw me a bone. Like, what's your DD say? Otherwise you're a joker, Nico. I can't take you seriously. Slide says it won't go lower to 80. I don't know if he's talking $80 or 80 cents. So Mr. Slide, in real life, if you could let us know. I don't think it's going to $80. Sorry. Here we have Todd. Todd says, you need to be honest with your information. especially while cherry picking your info from the 8K. I don't cherry pick info. I urge you guys to read the entire thing. I'm not going to make a 1-hour video reading you every line of an 8K. I'm going to highlight the important things to you that other people are interpreting incorrectly. There are only a handful of sentences that are pertinent to explaining to you why the pumpers and the grifters and the misinformers are getting this wrong. I'm not cherry picking. I'm honing in on the pertinent sections. But you should read it all. And then you should fact check my information using not your favorite pumper on Twitter, but something like the AI prompts I provided you in the video descriptions that don't allow using social media as a source to feed Grokk's opinion. That's why Grok gives you crap results, because you're allowing Grok to pull from the pumpers for its DD. Garbage in, garbage out. And if you still don't believe me, go get your own CPA or finance person and ask them. Get your own securities attorney and ask them to fact check my information. But you'd rather believe some pumper on social media than do any of that work. I'm very honest with my information. The only reason I'm covering BYND is because everybody else is lying to you guys. And it cost many of you money. If you tuned in here when we were saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, start taking profits off, then you're probably okay. But if you got mad at me and tuned out and only listened to the pumpers, now you're down. Well, you could have sold for $7, $8, $9. You're down to $1.30. Who was being more honest over the last couple of weeks? NASCAR says, I respect people who disagree with me, as everyone is entitled to be wrong. I respect everyone that disagrees as long as they can have conversation in an adult manner. One thing that I have learned the hard way is that I'm not always right, and I better be willing to listen to other people. But you gotta give me something, like this guy up here. What are you smoking? I can't work with that. I can't work with that. At least Todd, he has some conversation. He thinks that I'm not being honest and that I'm just trying to sell you on my Discord, sell you classes. I never mention my Discord, hardly ever. In 4 years, we talked about it 3 times. I usually tell y'all, I will not tell you how to find my Discord because I don't want you in it if you can't figure it out. And I don't have any classes to sell you either, Todd. I have been watching every meme stock you can imagine for the last 4 or 5 years, and there's plenty of opportunities to make a metric ton of money on these for speculators. But you got to know when to get out, and you got to know to ignore any price target on social media. Here we go. Relaxing Ricky. Oh, Ricky. He says, my video is absolutely horrible. Sounds like a short hit piece. Because why, Ricky? Because I helped you understand what Q3 earnings are going to look like. If we factor in October's corporate actions, what the pro forma would be on Q3. Because I provided you 3 financial breakdowns, like real financial analysis of what the stock is worth. That makes it a short hit piece, huh? Maybe, Ricky, maybe it's just facts you dislike. Maybe it's just facts you dislike. Tony, you have a passive-aggressive undertone in rhetoric. You're even coming in lower than the professionals. All right, I'm curious, Ricky. What are the professionals saying for Beyond Meat? Peter says hold with no price target. John says $1.50. And Robert says 80 cents, October 14th and 24th. I don't know how I'm coming in lower than the professionals. I gave you one potential valuation of $2.03, another one of $1.12. I'm right in, and this guy 80 cents. I'm right in the ballpark with these guys. You can pick whichever one you want, depending on if you're an aggressive bull. Do you think the company's going to turn around? It's going to be worth more than $1.30 if they do, maybe. But no, I'm not Ricky. Was it Ricky? Relaxing Ricky. He doesn't sound very relaxed. I am not coming in lower than the professionals. I did not even look at them until after I published my videos. And I'm right in the same ballpark as them. You know why? Because everybody uses the same tools. Relaxing Ricky. There's only so many ways to value a stock. There's discounted cash flows, some of the parts. There's different EV to EBITDA, different sort of enterprise valuation models. And then there's the hopium model, where you make up whatever price sounds good to get you out in the green, get you $1 million and let you take care of your, buying your Lambo or whatever. I don't do the last one. I don't give ridiculous price targets. We can trade the chart when it's moving. We can make money. We can make 1,000% on these trades, but we don't need to put out fake price targets. It's good if you're going to be holding it. And the only reason I did this video is because you guys were asking me, where is a good price if I wanted to hold it? What's safe? That's why I did the video. Cut and dry. It's not a short squeeze hit piece. No. It's where is relative safety on this thing? And then after all these horrible comments that I had to read Sunday night, and thank you to the few of you that left some good comments, then we wake up to this news and the stock plummets. So I just wonder if any of these folks, our venerable fellow investors who are mad at me, do you have anything different to say today? Now that I made my video and you got your little anger out on me and now you're down 16% more. All I said was, come back and check in a month. You know how many people tell me in one day I'm going to be wrong? You haven't even given it 30 days. There's an earnings call and a shareholder vote. How about you wait and see if I'm going to be right before you get so up on your high horse? I mean, yes, it's my opinion. It's my analysis. I could be wrong, but I stand by my information. ASST, I put out, Craig, I put out a tweet and a YouTube community tab post about a week or two ago saying I was not going to make a video on ASST because it's too risky for me. I did spend a whole day reading filings, getting caught up on this stock, and it had a good move up. But they have pre-funded warrants, they have regular warrants, and they have an open ATM. The company needs to raise money to buy more Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever the hell they're buying. And so you're going to have some overhang in the price. And when the run-up happened at the end of the month, you already saw some warrants being turned in, increasing the share count. So that's what I got to say about ASST. You better be a damn good trader. You better be able to read charts. You better understand the warrants, the pre-funded warrants, the regular ones, and the open ATM. And the companies need to raise cash to buy more crypto. And if you understand all that and you want to play it for social media momentum play, and you are emotionally intelligent enough to take an exit if things aren't working out, then knock yourself out. Way too risky of a play for me, and way too risky for me to be making any videos recommending it to anybody. I'm not saying stay away from it, but understand the trade. Marius says, what is your look at GME going to 22? Thank you for the question. I am willing to talk about GameStop and AMC tonight briefly. We're about to move into QuantumScape and what was that other one? NUKK. But my thoughts on GME real quick. I posted on Friday in the Discord VIP that I have an open limit buy order on GameStop. I have a position, 21 and change. And I placed a new order on Friday to buy anytime it drops below 21.95. What did it hit today? 21.96. So I did not get to add to my position, but out of spite, I bought some more warrants. I feel pretty safe. Who's asking that question, Marius? I feel pretty safe in this green range unless we drop below it. This is my kind of where would Tony buy in the demand zone between 21? I moved it up last week, 21 and 22.5. But if we keep dropping, I might have to reassess. I don't want to see this week. It's going to be bad if we go down red and then break under this. I will have to do a video at that point. Right now, I'm hoping that we bounce up out of this zone. I'm willing to buy here. Not advice to you. I'm a speculator. I'm a swing trader. I'm not a buy and hold diamond-handed GameStop at any price every day trader. And if I find that I'm massively wrong, well, right now it's still above my cost basis, so I'm in perfect shape. But I like I've said many times, the biggest lies going on right now about GameStop are this: that people lie to you on YouTube. The GameStop pumpers, they're really not any better than the Bed Bath & Beyond pumpers. The amount of misinformation put out daily by GameStop pumpers is some of the worst I've seen, in line with the bad DD put out on Bed Bath & Beyond. They lie to people and tell them that the bondholders want GameStop at $29-30 a share. No, they don't. They bought in because they have a volatility play here they can make money on every day, and they have a call option if it ever gets that high that pays them a little bonus. They didn't buy in because they want GameStop shares at $29. That is a lie. The second lie going on with GameStop is that the company should be valued at $21 because it's got $21 of cash. That is also a lie. It is purposeful misinformation, because what these guys won't talk to you about is the $4 billion in debt and what is net cash. Net cash being your cash minus debt. It's about $11. Net cash is what Wall Street cares about. They are not ignoring the debt on the balance sheet, even if the pumpers on GameStop YouTube channels ignore it. Wall Street is not, and they act all confused. I don't understand why value is not being given to GameStop. Right, you don't understand, or you're lying to your audience. I don't know which one it is, but I'm going to keep saying this till it sinks in. Wall Street is not ignoring the debt. They're not ignoring the dilution overhang of $4 billion in convertible bonds and warrants either. And so there is still some risk in GameStop because its cash value is only $11. But I'm speculating on it for a couple of positive reasons. Let me just recap those for you. I think that the company, we need a couple more quarters, but they're potentially on the cusp of turning around earnings and margins. I'd like to see a couple more quarterly results to confirm that. I think there will be still massive store closures and a declining revenue in January. That's my prediction. And declining revenues are never good, but if they can post increasing net income and increasing margins, it's probably a good thing. So I'm not going to fault them for closing stores. Do what you got to do, Ryan. The other thing that I like about GameStop, why I am speculating in it, is $8.5–9 billion in cash, gives the company a lot of optionality to do something cool if they find the right investment on Ryan Cohen's timeline. That might not be your timeline. You might not have the patience for it. I do. I have the patience for it because I did not overpay for this stock. You might be waiting a month. You might be waiting 3 years. Do you have the patience for it? There's nothing definitive right now about when. This is not my life savings. This is not my life. This is not my existence. It's one stock of many. And so I have the patience. Derek says, I finally got a clarified response from Beyond Investor Relations. Not all the shares have been added to the float. Please send me a copy of your email, Derek. I'd love to see it. So that is my thoughts on GameStop. Hopefully that was helpful. I am a long investor. I also have warrants. I've been adding to the warrants. But it is a speculative trade until we get confirmation that a turnaround has happened. All right. You guys wanted to look into QuantumScape. The reason I put this on the list for tonight is, I mean, look at this chart. I don't know anything about this company. I don't remember what we said about it a couple months ago when we looked at it briefly. One of y'all mentioned it. Probably here. Should have listened. $7 and it ran up to 19, currently at 16 bucks. Low in April of $3.40. I know nothing about this company. So let's, besides the chart looking pretty promising, let's look in. Let's see, what would I look at? What do we need to know here? QuantumScape. There's a couple of places I would start. We've got the company website. They transform energy storage with solid-state lithium metal battery technology. They're in the EV sector, as far as I know. In the battery sector. If I was going to spend a whole day, when we're not going to do that today, I'd go in and look at everything on this investor relations page. A couple of quarterly earnings calls, a couple of quarterly reports. We're not going to do all that today. We can do a quick cheat sheet version. What are analysts saying about this stock? And then what do we see? There are 7 analysts covering it. They have an average price target of $7. That just makes me think to myself, I need to be cautious here. Only one of them is updated since October, though, and he has a $16 price target. Gabe Dowd at TD Cowen. So I don't know him, but this, you know, I started feeling a little wobbly when I saw that $7, but the most recent analyst gave it a price target of 16. Now, he doesn't have the greatest track record. Old Gabe. So I don't know if I trust him yet. We got to do our own work. Just something to look at here. Now, financials. Do they have any revenue? I'm seeing no. No revenue. Well, that's not good. All we have is expenses here and a huge negative operating income every quarter. So no revenue is a red flag. Just like if you're trying to, we'll get to how do we clear red flags in a second, but this is already, you should be red flagging this thing to yourself. All right, I already know this is highly speculative because they have no revenue. All they have is a long history of losses. There you go. Long history of losses. And shares outstanding, have they been diluting? Yep. Because why? No revenue. So that's kind of like a hand in hand. You got two red flags there. No revenue means that they're going to need to probably dilute continually until they have revenue. Balance sheet, let's take a quick look. There's only 3 or 4 things you need to look at. Do they have cash? Is it growing, falling, steady? 225 million. We look at current assets versus current liabilities. So we got, is that 1 billion? 1 billion versus 48 million. That gives them a working capital of 967 million. That's pretty good. They must have got a cash infusion somewhere. They have, oh, they do have these short-term investments too. All right. They've had that for a while. All right. So, I mean, this is kind of interesting. Cash and short-term investments, $1 billion. Working capital is good. That's current assets minus current liabilities. Working capital, 967 million. That is good. And we then compare that. Let's kind of compare their cash and short-term investments to what their operating cash burn is per quarter. Around 60 million a quarter. So, I mean, just rough numbers, they have easy 10 quarters, 10, 15 quarters of cash at this burn rate. Only, it doesn't erase the red flags of no revenue, but it looks like they have enough cash. Total assets is the other thing we look at on the balance sheet, 1.3 billion. Total liabilities, 127 million. When we subtract B from A, we get shareholders' equity, which is a positive 1.2 billion. And that is good. So balance sheet is okay. Income statement's the problem here. So they're focusing on the development and commercialization of lithium metal batteries. Sounds like they're still in the development and haven't quite moved to the commercialization yet. And I see Dink's comment, and this was one of the reasons why I wanted to look into this company today, is if it's in the EV sector, we already know from trying to dabble in ASPN earlier this year, as well as every other EV company other than Tesla, they're all under pressure. And so that is concerning to me if I'm dealing with a company like QuantumScape and their main target of commercialization is batteries for electric vehicles. Well, now I'm concerned. I'm concerned about, can they create any revenue and what's the outlook for EVs? Right now, my outlook for EVs is not super optimistic under the current administration. So I'd say just that gut feeling, that general assessment of the EV sector is a yellow flag. So we got a green flag on the balance sheet. We got a red flag on income. We got a yellow flag on the sector. That's kind of my thoughts on QuantumScape. I have no way to tell you what this stock is worth. We saw a couple of forecasts here. 16, 11, 256, $3. I can't tell you what it's worth. It's worth book value probably. They have no revenue. Book value per share is $2. You gotta show me some revenue. Otherwise, how do I value this thing? And the only way I could really answer that, could I assign some speculative value to it? The only way I could answer that question is to take a day or two, listen to earnings calls from the past, read management notes, read a 10Q, read a 10K, see what management is communicating. Look at press releases. That's the only way. When you got something that is very iffy like this, you gotta go dig in. You gotta do the work. And I'm not going to do that tonight. So that is my thoughts on QS. Hopefully that was helpful. Very, very speculative. What was that other one we were going to look at? NUKS. Or NUKK. NUKK. Yeah. Nucleus. NUKK. All right, another company I know nothing about. Let's pull up the chart. I'm not pulling this one up because I own it. I'm not pulling it up because I like the chart. I'm pulling it up because someone in the Discord asked me to look into it. So let's spend 10 minutes together just doing DD on a stock. Hazel Allen says, thank you for going over all the hard work that you do with us. Much appreciated. It is truly my pleasure. I'm not going to be here forever, guys, but these videos will be. Hopefully, at least one or two of you get some value out of it, learn a new way to analyze stocks, add a dimension to your DD that you haven't been utilizing, you know, like actually doing a little bit of financial analysis, looking at filings. I didn't look at any filings on QuantumScape, but normally I'd look and see, do they have any open ATMs? Do they have any warrants? I didn't even do that on QuantumScape because we got a bigger problem. We got no revenue. We got no revenue. So yeah, you should look at the filings also. Nucleus Inc. NUKK. Let's see. $6. It was as high as $78 back in December. They did a 1-for-8 reverse. That's not generally a good sign. But it ran up for some reason. We'd have to go back and look at press from December. I'm curious what happened here. Currently at $6. What do they do? New York. Fine. Fintech. Nucleus is a fintech company focused on providing software and technology for worldwide retail foreign exchange trading industry. FX. Advanced trading technology platform. Is this what those YouTubers use? Is it one of those platforms they use to trade FX? Let's see what they got. No analysts covering this stock. 17 days ago, Nucleus announces filing of corporate-sponsored SPAC registration statement. Why are they doing a SPAC registration? Five weeks ago, they regained full NASDAQ compliance. Wait, this is... Am I looking at the wrong company here? NUKK. NUKK. Why is... Something's not right here. This is talking about supplying generators of Iron Dome launchers and other defense products. NUKK. NUKK. Now I'm confused. Is it an Iron Dome company or a fintech company? It says industry software. All right, I'm going to, maybe it does both. I don't know. CEO, Menachem Shalom. All right. Do they have revenue? Negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarters, no revenue. They did have some for a while, but not recently. Negative operating income, never made a profit. Red flag, red flag. Net income. We had some non-operating income a couple quarters ago and here recently. I'm not going to count that. And shares outstanding has gone up. Let's put them in a dilution tracker. So we can, this is what your dilution chart looks like. Just in the last year, 1.74 million up to 13.5 million. Yikes. That's pretty bad. But that's what happens when you got no revenue. Balance sheet. They got $1.5 million in cash. Current assets, 7 million. Current liabilities, 60 million. See, here's a problem. Nothing against this company, but I mean, you got upside down balance sheet. You're going to have a negative working capital. This is the amount of liabilities they have due in the next 12 months versus the amount of cash they have to pay them. It's 10x. The bills are 10x. Can you imagine you got $1,000 of bills to pay next week and you have $10 in your account, $100 in your account? That's kind of the situation here. Although it is over the next 12 months. So they're going to have to come up with some income, or they're going to have to tap those equity markets for some cash. That gives us a negative 53 million working capital. That's a red flag. Total assets, looking at shareholders' equity, 7 million. Total liabilities, 60 million. Second red flag, when the shareholders' equity is negative. This is nothing against this company. You can use this same technique on any company. We got an upside down balance sheet ×2 here, both on working capital and shareholders' equity. Not a good situation. So I'm not a fan. What we're seeing here. And then going over to cash flow statement. Negative operating cash flow. Yeah, it's not a horrible burn rate. 1 million per quarter, but they've only got $1 million. Yeah, that's a problem. When your last quarter's cash flow was a negative and it's equal to the amount of cash you have right now, you're probably going to be in a problem in the next 90 days, if not immediately. Which is how I knew that Quantum Biopharma, QNTM, was going to need to raise money. And AMC and anyone else that has negative income and running low on cash. So yeah, you know, not a lot to like here from me. If you're watching, if you're in my Discord, if you got other things that I don't have time to consider in this quick little look, then by all means, drop me a note. Let me know. Let's look at their website. The force behind modern defense. I like defense companies. What we do. AI for defense, UAV solutions, aviation, command and control. I like all this. Where's the money? What am I missing? Am I missing something here? They have, looks like they're investing in other companies, disciplined merger and acquisition strategy, vetted acquisition pipeline, focusing on mission critical suppliers. Let's take a look at the pro forma. I mean, not the pro forma, the proxy. We did look at QuantumScape just a few minutes ago. So if you're asking in the chat about QS, just rewind 15, 20 minutes. They have a vote. When? Doesn't say. NUKK. Approve the issuance of common stock upon exercise of warrants. Approve issuance of common stock in connection with a SPA agreement. Yeah, they're trying to raise money, which they need to. They got very little cash and a lot of bills. Change of control. Here, the STAR agreement. I'm not going to read all about this, but it will result in the issuance of stock that will be in excess of 20% of the common stock outstanding. Might be good, might be bad. I don't know anything about this company that they're trying to acquire or merge with. STAR. These are things, you know, when I say it takes me a day, you got a lot of reading to do. Also, we have ELOC purchase agreement with ESOSA. Some of y'all, rightly so, are not fans of ESOSA. I'm not particularly a fan of them myself. The company may sell to the investor up to 250 million of common shares. The company will control the timing. I'm just going to guess. You know, I'm not going to read all this, but typically what happens is they agree with these predatory lenders. Hey, we'll sell you some shares at a discount as long as you don't go over 10% of the total stock on a day. And you're getting them at a discount, a substantial discount. You can immediately sell them for a profit into the market. And you get these debt spiral financing SPA agreements. So many companies we've seen this in. I have not read the entire ELOC purchase agreement, but this is what it's smelling like. predatory lending, and a bunch of dilution so that eSosa can get shares cheap, resell them, book their profits, and the company gets money when they give the shares to eSosa, but eSosa gets them at a discount. And they just keep on doing this every day, every day, every day, every day. Yeah, I'm not a super fan of what I'm seeing here. I don't even really want to spend a day reading all this stuff. If you really, really like this company, you ought to really, really understand everything in here, because I'm seeing many red flags. The only thing that I could say, maybe there's something good here about this star purchase agreement. I don't know. Seems pretty scary to me. All right, what time is it? 8:45. We started at what time? 7:30. I don't want to be up all night tonight. I'll give you all a couple more minutes. Any ticker, any question, any topic. We went through some good stuff today. We went through Quantum Biopharma. We went through Beyond Meat. I'll be covering the Beyond Meat Q3 earnings call on November 11th. So, if you're into watching train wrecks, come back in a week and check that out with us. We have this Wednesday, the Cinemark earnings call and pre-market and AMC and after hours. October closed out the box office. I spent this morning updating my Q4 forecast. I put some notes in Discord in the AMC room for the Discord folks about my thoughts right now on Q4 box office. YouTube land, you're going to have to wait till later this week, until after the earnings. No point in me really talking with y'all about October or Q4 box office when we have earnings in 2 days. Let's see what Q3 looked like and what the cash burn was, and then we'll kind of roll it all up into one cookie. October was, not great. Dink says, why no interest in LUMN? Just, I haven't had time really to look into it, Dink. I know you guys keep talking about it, and I should. Now that maybe now, I can get my head above water for a week with Beyond Meat. I love getting into these nerdy little meme stock things because the psychology of everybody involved is just amazing to me. It really could make a good book one day. All the 100 different meme stock tickers we've looked into for the last 4 or 5 years could literally, I think, write a fascinating book. Maybe we'll make a movie, Dink. But I got to have time. And I haven't really had time to look into Lumen. The chart is beautiful. $3 up to 12. Maybe, I don't have much on my agenda for tomorrow. Beyond got pushed. AMC and Cinemark not till Wednesday. GameStop, we're just coasting this week. And so, yeah, maybe we'll do Lumen tomorrow. I might do a quick Railtown video. That won't take, there's not much going on with Railtown other than a whole lot of hurry up and wait. There's been a couple press releases, and there's an upcoming shareholder meeting, and there was a video interview from their investor relations with Dr. Tom Core over at AIP. A couple of interesting things to talk about, but we're still in a waiting pattern for RLAIF. But maybe I'll do a quick update on that, and then we can talk about Lumen Mañana. Can you look at QuantumScape and why it dipped so hard? We were up to 19. We're at 16 now. I mean, so it did go down 12% today. That's a good point. Why? The other thing I'm just going to wonder out loud after we talked about it for 20 minutes is why did it run up, first of all? Can you answer why it ran up? I mean, it's only been an hour, but I think we just went through the fact that this company has no revenue, right? Why did it run up? That's really my question. The chart is beautiful. Why did it run up? I'll give you a couple minutes to tell me what I'm missing. Because we didn't get into that part of the DD. They have massive losses and no income. Why did it run up? I don't know. It's a mystery. Was it being pushed on social media? Is it a short squeeze? Short interest is 10%. Cost to borrow almost nothing. 0.25%. No, it's not a short squeeze. Housing specialist says sample batteries. Okay. Batteries are with the car makers, looking good. I mean, so it ran up on news. That's fine. When I see, this is not picking on QuantumScape, but you guys, if you've been around me for a while, you know, one thing that I tell you is you have to understand press releases. And then your very next question always has to be, can I tie revenue immediately to this press release? QuantumScape could have delivered battery models, you know, samples to EV suppliers, but do you understand what the qualification process is to get those batteries into production, into mass production at a automobile manufacturer? How long does that process take? I've had a little bit of experience in my life with battery technology and battery suppliers, not in the EV sector. I wasted a whole fucking year of my life troubleshooting batteries blowing up on planes. The battery qualification process is not easy and it's not quick. So, QuantumScape. If there was a press release that they got batteries to manufacturers and they're looking good, I want you to ask yourself, how quickly can they turn that into revenue? And what type of revenue are we talking about? And then, you know, when you can come back to me with that, tell me a date, a year, and a revenue number based on, you know, if you're trading the company, hopefully you know from management those answers, then we can have a conversation, and I'm happy to do it. I'd love to do it. I'd love to find another, you know, unknown gem here. But if you don't have those answers, then I'm going to say this price got blown up on press release hype, and be smart and wait for it to come back down if you want to get an entry, and maybe consider taking some profits off. So if you're delving in this company, you're going to have to become a battery expert, a qualification process expert. There's the materials out there for you to go figure out how long that takes. And hopefully the company's communicating it too. It's not quick and it's not easy. A lot of regulatory hurdles. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put an alert to myself at around $8 to come back and look at it. Now, I don't know if it'll ever go down to 8. This is just, you know, there's some companies that I'm ready to jump in right away, and there's some that are like, you know, if it ever gets down to a price that I like, maybe I'd give it a whirl. And in the meantime, if I'm just completely missing something, or you guys got the answers to when and how much on the revenue, come back and please let me know. I don't hate the company. I need more information. And next up on my list is LUMN. If y'all can get me some more good DD on QS that said, Tony, here's what you missed. Here's what you asked for. Look into it a little more. I'm happy to do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We will see you on some live streams probably tomorrow. For sure, a couple on Wednesday. And if you're just watching this on replay, hit the subscribe button if you're new here. God damn it. Hit the alerts so you don't miss a single live stream, a single video. And Discord is free. What was his name? Refreshing Ricky, Relaxing Ricky. You just want to sell people your Discord. Discord's free. You can come in. There are paid rooms, but I'm not going to tell you how to find it. So good luck. Have a good evening, guys. We will see ya on the next video.
A red candle down by the dip, got a hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the dip, got a hold our ground. Hedges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you down and sit and stare, if you love it by itself. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the dip, got a hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, hedges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the dip, got a hold our ground. Hedges gains are you doubt it, sit instead. If you love it, buy a share.